Hello. This video should help you to understand layers if you're having trouble with them. Notice along the top here, I've opened quite a few photos, just random photos that I grabbed off the internet. And when I switch from one to the other, you see what's there. What I'd like to do is go to File and New, and I'm just going to get a random image out. I'll call it Layer Demonstration. And I'm going to leave it small, 5 by 7, so it's on your screen with a very poor resolution just so it will load. And I'll hit OK. Now that is added to the list of photos that I have open. If you look at the Layers palette, the initial layer that I created, because it's a new file, does not have a lock next to it. It's just called Layer. If I click on the other images, notice they're called Background, and they have a lock. That's because I opened an existing photograph. Now I was already playing around on this image, so it's now the background is gone and there's no lock. I'll show you how to do that momentarily. Here's another one. If I want to move this, access it, change it, paint on it, I just click the lock that's sitting there. Notice it changed to layer 0, and I can double click that and say students type something in gallery. I like to label my images really obviously so that I know what it is I'm working with and which layer I'm on. This one I already got rid of the background as well. I'll call this cave painting so that when I bring them into a new file I can see them. Gallery visit, I can call it unlock, double click, gallery visit. Now, if I want to go back to that blank, I have to go find it. I'll come down here, and there it is, Layer Demonstration. Now, personally, I can't stand all my photos lined up at the top here. I prefer to see them all spread out. You can actually view in different ways. They used to make it easy, but now they don't. There used to be something in here. So instead, I'm just going to click on those layers, and I'm going to rip it out and lay it to the side there. Anything that doesn't say Layer Demonstration. Now I can't quite see those. That's all right though, because once I do this and get them all out of there, now I have one window that has Layer Demonstration. All the others are separate. If I go under Window and roll to the bottom, they all live down here. So let's say I want to get one of those images, and I have no idea what's what. I can just click here. I'm going to take this one of the word art. If I get my move tool, I simply click and drag across the windows. So notice that when in doing that, it put layer 2 above layer 1. I'll go get something else. I'll go get my paintbrushes and drag them over. Layer 3. Now, there's different ways of doing this. Everybody does things differently in this software. I'm going to look for it. That one's just way too big, so I don't want it. I'll go get this one and pull it over. So every one I pull in is going on a different layer. The layers work like a stack of papers on your table. Layer 1 is closest to the table on the bottom of the pile, and then you go to the top, which is Gallery Visit. I can drag these and rearrange the order. Notice when I get to some point, I'm going to be hiding the images. So what do I want where? And sometimes it becomes a big cluttered mess. So I can turn off eyeballs and only see one photo that I want to move around and manipulate. So let's say I want the paintbrushes at the top. I'm also going to double click and layer this so that I can find them in the list. Layer 1 is essentially useless because I have nothing on it, but I could decide to draw on it, so I'll leave it there momentarily. This is art. It's a light of some sort. So now I have them organized. I'm going to turn that light bulb back on, and I'm going to decide that I'm going to make this smaller. So I'll go to Edit and Free Transform, and I'll just hold down the Shift key and make it littler so it fits in the corner there. Double click to make the change stick. And then I'll go to Gallery Visit, and I'll move these folks over, go to Edit, Free Transform, make them smaller, So they fit in this corner, double click. So now I can see everything that I put there. Again, if I drag that to under paintbrushes, oops, I cut those people up and you don't see much of it. So dragging the layers around rearranges them. I can go to layer 1, I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm just going to scribble on it. Notice that you can't see anything, but there's something in the icon here. That's because it's under all those photos. If I drag it up, or in between, you can see parts of it, or all of it if it's on the top. Now, some people like to work with groups. They're essentially file folders that hold all the information excuse me, together so that they move as a unit. I'm going to click on a folder. I'm going to double click that group and call it photos. I can drag all of my photos in there and leave out, and oops, see, it gets its own order in here as well, but I'm leaving out layer 1, which I'll call hand drawing. So the photos can be moved as a whole unit. Or I can open that folder and move them. You're not going to see much change here until I move them underneath the paintbrushes. They can move within. Now, this won't work if I want the hand drawing to be between everything, because if I put it in, then it's not just photos, it's everything is in one folder. I could make multiple folders, and I could call them, like this one could have text in it, this one could be hand drawings, this one could be textures, whatever it is I want in there. And I can go to each of these. Let's say I want textures. I could add a new layer inside textures. I could call this brick, and I could then bring in a picture of a brick. I could go to hand drawings. I'm going to pull that one out, put it in it, and I could also add a new layer of hand drawings, scribbles, and put that in there. And then I would have to then go ahead and get something, a tool. I'll go change my color to something else, and I could come in here and just scribble. That's now on the scribbles layer, which could be under hand drawing or on top of it. And I can close the folders if I want. I didn't make any text yet, but if I did, when you make text, it will automatically make a new layer within that folder. Can't quite see it because it's little. I'll make it bigger. There's my new layer, and because it's red and kind of on top of things, you can't see it very well. So the folders can be useful if you want to organize that way, but they don't necessarily work if I'm organizing it by just layers themselves. Some people don't like to work this way, and you can pull things right out of there. I'm going to pull them completely out and just make them individual layers. I can then throw away this folder, throw it into the trash can, and then just work with what I have there. Hopefully this will help get you started and moving along with your layers.